Ropen, Sasquatch, Loch Ness Monster, Champ, Ogo Pogo. Welcome in. It is the year 2020. As you know, there have been reports of living pterosaurs throughout the world. Not just reports, though, but eyewitness testimonies who have claimed to have seen living pterodactyls, something that is supposed to be extinct. Now, what's a pterodactyl? Well, some people don't even know what a pterodactyl is. We'll give you an idea. This would be a pterodactyl. They wouldn't look like this, though. But it's not a dinosaur, but in a way it communicates what the creature is, okay? It's a featherless, leathery-skinned, nocturnal creature that has been seen all over the world, but also been seen here in the United States of America for many, many years now. Throughout those years, people have come forward with their testimonies of seeing something that should not be alive. And that's what we're going to tackle today. That is our subject. Before we do that, before we dive right on in, I encourage you to go to livingpterosaurs.com. It is owned by Jonathan David Whitcomb, who has done an amazing job bringing this information to the public so they can see for themselves and decide if this is a phenomena that truly is happening to this very day. Also go to ropen.com, another great site. I encourage both sites for the information, for the facts, and who knows, at the very end, you may just very, very well be a believer. Today, we have a special guest, and this is actually my second interview of an eyewitness report of living pterodactyls where this gentleman lives. His name is Jonathan Archer, and he has come forward to give his account of what he saw on that fateful day. So we're going to make a call to him shortly here, and we're going to have a chance for him to explain everything that was involved, try to pursue the facts, and find out locations if we can. And then the rest is up to you. You'll have to decide if this is something you now believe in, if you believe that these creatures still exist, that maybe something is wrong, perhaps evolution has got this whole thing incorrect, and maybe creation is indeed true after all. So hang with me. Let's make a call to Jonathan Archer, and let's get this party going.
Hello?
Hello, Jonathan.
Hi.
Hi, this is Jacob Garrett. It's good to hear from you again.
Hey, yeah, good to hear from you.
Yeah, the last time we spoke, I believe it was early January, and my voice was not very good. I was kind of congested in the face, so I think you'll be able to hear me and understand me a lot better this time.
Yes, I can.
But this is a chance to have more detailed info about your whole account. So what I'd like for you to do is share your complete story from start to finish. And then what I'll do is I'll dive in at the very end, and we can talk more about the specifics of the encounter. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
All right, excellent. So, whenever you're ready, I'm ready to hear your story.
All right. Well, it was July 16th, 2018. And it was in the afternoon, around 5 or 5:30 p.m. I had just gotten done with appointments that I had in Fargo and Moorhead in Minnesota and in North Dakota there. And I was on the Minnesota side, and I went to Walmart on the northern end of Moorhead. And when I got out, I got into my car. I drove west to get out of the parking lot. I turned north on a road. I don't remember exactly which one it is. I think it may have been Highway 75. And started heading north. When I was heading north on 75, I looked up because I saw something moving up in the sky, and I looked up my windshield, and I saw some large creature flying. And I didn't think anything of it right away, but then I looked again, and I saw that this creature was flapping its wings really weird and very slowly. It had sort of a shimmer or a sheen to the top of the wings too, like it was some sort of reflection from the sun. I was looking at it and I was staring, and I thought, what is that? I didn't didn't notice anything other than the underside of the wings at this time, but I noticed that, and the body as well, and I noticed that it was flying directly over my vehicle about 200 or 300 feet in the air, slowly going diagonally from right to left. And it was going over to the left side where there was a large open field, and a few hundred yards away there was a line of trees. Now, I was driving at this point around 45, 55 miles an hour, and I noticed it started to dive. And it started going at an angle downwards, still heading north, and it straightened out. It was going straight north, and I was keeping pace with it, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to watch to see what this thing does, and I'm going to see how fast it's going, and it was going 45 miles an hour according to my speedometer. And it dove and it landed right around the trees. So I quickly stopped my car on the side of the road, and right along the side of the trees there was a road that went west. I thought, well, I have to get back home, but also this is something very strange, and I've never seen it before. I don't know what it was. Now, one thing I need to mention, too, as it was diving down into the trees, I could see what looked like a long, thin tail with a round bulb at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
That made me really confused. I knew it wasn't feet or legs. I knew it couldn't have been some sort of a snake that was being dragged, because it was a completely straight line with a little round ball at the end. And I was more so just confused than anything else. I didn't know for sure what I was seeing. This process took about 1 to 2 minutes for me to just sit and watch and observe it as I was driving. So it landed, and I didn't see where it landed, but it landed somewhere around the trees. And right along the road that goes west, the tree line goes north, and there's a little creek, or a little, I don't know what you would call it, reservoir of some kind or something, that was going on the south side of the road. And it went all the way underneath a little culvert and kept going. So I sat on the side of the road. I thought, okay, I'm going to turn, and I'm going to see what's going on here. I turned left to start going west, and I parked on the north side of this road. There was some dirt that was being excavated, and there's enough for like 6 or 7 cars to park there. So I just stopped and I parked. I called a friend of mine who's really good at looking at different animals and different pterosaurs. He studied that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Called him and I said, I need your help here. I just saw something large with what looked like a long tail and a bulb at the end of it. And I don't know for sure if there's any other creatures that could fit that category. And he told me, no, what you need to do is go over there, get a stone and throw it at the trees and record what you see happening. I said, okay, I'll do that. So I got off the phone, got out of the car, went across the road. I didn't see anything. I was looking up and down. And I decided I would throw something at the trees, threw something at the trees, nothing happened. And I just started walking west along that road on the south side. I was looking around, didn't notice anything, so I called my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, I thought I saw something interesting, but I didn't. And then I looked up into the sky and I saw 2 hawks that were circling. And I thought, oh, that's what they were. For some reason, it didn't add up that that's what it could have been, but that's the only thing my mind thought. Oh, okay, it was 2 hawks. Well, I turned around, went back to the car. I was somewhat disappointed. I thought it was going to be something really cool. Then I drove down on the right side of the road, all the way towards the end of the road where there's a baseball diamond, and there was a baseball game that was starting, high school baseball.
Ooh, wow.
Turned around where there was another road that went north and south, and I started heading back east. And I was talking to my wife just casually. I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll come home. As I was doing that, something big and black flew right behind me, somewhere around 50 feet or closer away. I looked into the rear view, and I could see the front half of this creature. It shocked me. It was jet black. The wings were curved backwards. There was no feathers. I could see what looked like 3 fingers sticking out by the wings on each side. And the face looked almost raven-like as far as the face was. It had a long beak, but it looked like there might have been teeth. I don't remember that for sure, but I knew that the eyes were very large, and it just soared straight across. Now, north of this road is a big cornfield, and the corn was about 5-6 feet high. So as it soared across, I thought, I gotta turn around real quick, and I yelled, "That's it! That's what I saw! It was a pterosaur!" I yelled, and I tried to turn around, but there was a car in the oncoming lane, and I had to focus my attention away from the creature as it was flying, and focus on not getting into a car accident. So I had to stop in front of that person, and they're like, what are they doing? And I turned around, and I headed back, and I lost sight of it. That second sighting took maybe 2 seconds as it flew across. But I know that what it was not a bird. It could not have been a bird, because I didn't see any wings at all, and it was jet black.
Okay.
So then what I did was I'm like, okay, I got to figure out if it flew north, it has to still be flying. So I went down the road west. I took a right. I drove straight north. I didn't see it again. I went around for the next half hour to an hour looking for different things, climbing up little hills. I couldn't see it again. But that sighting completely shocked me.
Mm-hmm.
From the face that I saw and the wings on that second encounter, I knew it had to be a pterosaur. Couldn't have been anything else. After that moment, I was like in shock the whole day. And when I would see like a little blackbird or something, flying by, I would get spooked, because I'd think, oh, what is that? What is that? Oh, it's just a bird. Okay. But that's my basic story.
Wow. Very intriguing. Now, you mentioned that you knew a friend who knows a lot about pterosaurs and birds. Was that by chance Garth Gespin?
Yes.
Okay. Of course.
Yeah, I called him, and I told him that I don't know what I'm seeing. This is something really large. I called him again afterwards. It had probably been about an hour after the sighting, so I called him a second time. And I told him, I think I know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, could it have been a raven? And I said, no, this thing was way too big to be a raven. I noticed it did not have a crest on the back of the head.
Okay.
It was just like a regular bird as far as the shape of the head, except it did not have any feathers on the head. And it had a long tail, but the second sighting, I didn't see the back half of the creature.
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people would probably start pointing out, okay, maybe it was this kind of bird, maybe it was this. But you made it very clear it's not a raven. You said it had no feathers.
No feathers.
Okay. But it had a beak, and you couldn't tell if there was potential teeth or not.
Yeah, there might have been. I know that there was some sort of features on the beak. I just don't know that's for sure that it was teeth. But
sure.
From my drawing that I looked at the next day, it looks like I remembered that there had been teeth. I don't remember that at this point because it's been so long.
Okay. Interesting that it was there was a bit of a shimmer, and that could have been from the sunlight. So I'm guessing, was that a clear sunny day, or was there a bit of a cloud cover?
No, it was a clear sunny day.
Okay.
It was actually a little cooler than usual for July. Usually in July it's in the upper 80s or low 90s in that area, and it was in the 70s.
Okay.
The sky was nice and clear. And the other thing is I have astigmatism in my right eye, but I was wearing my glasses so that I could see perfectly clearly. And my wife, the first thing she asked is, well, were you wearing your glasses? I said, yes, I was. I could see clearly.
She's already,
And, yeah, she was already starting to ask me questions. I was like, yeah, you know, I could tell these features. I could see them very clearly.
How high would you say the creature was? Maybe like, did you mention it was 50 feet or?
Oh, the first time that I saw it, it was flying about 200 to 300 feet in the air.
Okay.
The second sighting that I had for a few seconds was probably 50 feet behind me, and I would say it was maybe 6 or 7 feet off the ground. It was very low, because what had probably happened, is my guess, is that it had come off of the side of that road where there was a bunch of water.
Absolutely. Was there any sound, Jonathan?
No, it was just a quick zoom. Like if I had been looking, I wouldn't have noticed anything.
Okay. It's interesting when people describe pterosaurs. They're usually going to be asphalt color or a black, something very dark. And that would make sense. I think it's rare occasions when they come across something that is multicolored, with more stripes or something like that. It's very rare to see those, my guess. Most people who come forward, they speak of something in dark colors or so. But it seems to me the creature you probably saw, I'm guessing maybe, I'm leaning more towards a rhamphorhynchoid and not necessarily a pteranodon species, because the pteranodons tend to have the horns, depending if it's male or female. But actually, let's talk about the potential size or wingspan. Do you have an estimation of those by chance?
Well, boy, I would say that it's what I've consistently said was that it seems to have been 6 to 8 feet. Like it seems to have been as large as a bald eagle. I don't know for sure because the second time it moved so fast, and the first time it was 200 to 300 feet in the air. The only thing that makes me unsure of the exact size is because when it was, I would say, about 100 yards away, diving down near those trees, I could still make out a tail. And I could tell that I could still see the wings and its shape. So my guess was around 6 to 8 feet. It could have been slightly larger, but that's my best guess.
Was there anybody that day that possibly had a glimpse of this thing? That maybe, have you tried reaching out to anybody to see if maybe they have seen something in that area?
I know some people, I go to school, and I know some people from the Moorhead area. They haven't seen anything. The only person I think that could have seen that around the same time as me is the person that was in the oncoming traffic in a vehicle that I was trying to turn around in front of.
Yeah.
Now, I was driving a black car, and I don't know if I would have been blocking their field of view as I was trying to drive in front of them to turn around, but they'd probably be the only people that could have seen it at that time.
Okay, so I remember something you mentioned the first time we spoke, that there was possible footprints by this creature, if it was indeed from it. Do you have those photos?
I have a video. It's a 6-minute video of me thinking, okay, I made a mistake. I should have been recording this whole thing, as Garth Getzman had wisely said. But now I'm going to record my attempt to see if I can draw it out of hiding. I knew that it had flown north, and just a little bit further west and a little bit further north on the other side of the road was probably a group of 50, 60 trees with some water in there. And I thought, okay, this is a possible place where it flew, because I didn't see it fly off towards the sky. So my best guess was, hey, I bet you it went over here. So what I did was I went around the back. There's a back entrance to where those trees are. And there's a building there, and there was some trucks that had pushed a bunch of sand over time up and to make it like a hill. So the sand was very soft. There was already weeds and some flowers growing out of the sand, and I started climbing. I was recording this whole thing. As I was climbing up, I noticed some weird footprints at the top of this hill. It was probably 4 or 5 footprints is all. It didn't go down, and it was only at the top of the hill, which was weird. I didn't notice it. I tried to follow the tracks with my camera, and I only saw 4 or 5 footprints. So then I grabbed a few rocks and threw it into the trees while I was recording, and nothing happened.
Right.
I waited a while. The mosquitoes were not fun, so I came back down and went into the car. My feet would sink maybe 3 or 4 inches into this sand.
Okay.
Or this sand that had clumped together. And so anything that had light weight, even cats would leave footprints on the sand because it was soft. So I've never seen footprints like that before. It was small, maybe 3 or 4 inches in diameter.
Mm-hmm.
It had what looked like claws on the prints. And I did record the video. I have it on a computer. I tried uploading it to Facebook 3 or 4 times, and 3 or 4 times it had been taken down. I don't know why, but people can't get a hold of it, even though I keep uploading it.
That's strange.
Yeah, I've tried 3 or 4 times. I've given it to different people, and somehow, as far as I know, nobody still has that available with them. I'll have to ask, but
Okay.
I know they've tried to get a hold of me again.
Have you tried giving that over to Garth and see what he can do with it?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Actually, I didn't think to do that.
Is this an older camera?
It was a camera phone.
Okay.
It's an older, maybe cheap Samsung camera phone. So it was like the cheapest smartphone that I could buy. So it has recording capabilities as far as video and audio and pictures, but it was clear enough to see. But for some reason it has trouble. I can upload other things, other videos and pictures. Just that one, for some reason, has troubles.
Interesting. Because I know I'd be extremely curious in that one. And it's almost, a lot of us probably, when we're out and about, a lot of us aren't expecting to see something amazing like this. And the nice thing about this day and age is our electronics are really going to the next level. Smartphones are, I believe, is what's going to be very helpful when it comes to determining if indeed somebody had an eyewitness account of a living pterodactyl. There may eventually, down the road, we're going to have more sophistication electronic-wise that's going to help us to prove that.
I'm going to get that uploaded.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating, when it's like, oh, I've got something, but I can't get it to work, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, obviously, that just proves it didn't happen. No, it did. I can show you that I've been there at that time. I can't show you the creature because I didn't record it, but...
Yeah, and Jonathan, I did receive some photos from you, and would that be okay if I share that with my audience?
Sure.
Okay.
You can see that I'm not the best drawer in the world.
Well,
I drew that on a little whiteboard with a marker at my wife's parents' house because I went there, and the next day I drew that. And Garth had told me, you better draw what you saw so you can remember it.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So I did that, then took pictures with my phone.
Yeah. Now, Jonathan, would you say this creature was more on the, I want to say this is North Dakota, but more on the lines of something else? Would we be outside? You mentioned Minnesota side.
Yeah, it was 2 miles from the border of North Dakota, Highway 75. It's or maybe just a few miles away, so it's really close.
Okay. How has this sighting impacted your life?
Well, I'll tell you, and just to give you a little bit of background, I had been studying these types of creatures for a few years, probably I would say 8 or 9 years before when this happened.
Mm-hmm.
I got introduced to these creatures being sighted and recorded back in 2010. So by 2018, I had very familiar knowledge of these types of creatures, and I had been seeking and trying to do what I could to get a sighting of that. But during this day, I was just trying to get home because it was in the afternoon. I just got some groceries and things for the family, and even though I knew about these creatures, when I saw it at first, it was like sort of a dream. I didn't really know it was happening when it was happening. I couldn't process it quite. And when the second sighting happened, it shocked me. I was like, whoa, it didn't scare me, it just shocked me. Ever since that point, I struggled with, did I really see this? Was I daydreaming? Could it have been some sort of weird hybrid creature type thing? And I kept, thinking about it. No, I really did see this. This is something I really saw. It made me appreciate those creatures that are out there, because they're not just myths. They're just animals. They just are rare. We just don't see them very often. And it just gave me a sort of an awe about it. Kind of like if you were a kid and you'd never seen a crocodile before, the first time you'd see one, you'd be like, whoa, what is this? That's the same sort of feeling I had. It was like, whoa.
Yes.
It impacted me because I loved those creatures as a kid, and now when I saw it, I was like, oh man, I gotta see this again. I went back a week later to the same spot, and I looked all around with my phone. I didn't see anything, but I was like shaking the whole time I was there because of the impact it had on me. It was a complete shock to me.
I can imagine. Yeah, because going back to the same place, the feeling, the nerves that come over you is like, okay, am I going to have a chance to see it again? What will my reaction be? What will this whole encounter be again? So quite an exciting adventure for you that was short-lived, but still, you had the chance to see a living, and some would say dinosaur, okay? You're right. I don't believe that they are extinct whatsoever, okay? These creatures have been here since the beginning of time. And then a lot of them have lingered because they know how to survive. I believe them to be intelligent, and unlike some people would say that most dinosaurs were considered to be dumb because they're reptiles. Well, I don't agree with that statement whatsoever. But what you had was an amazing experience that you'll always remember, and that your wife will always remember too, because you're so adamant about it. And this is why I do believe your story. I think it's very clear to you what it is you saw, and I don't think anybody will ever shake you of that.
Right. Yeah, I told people right away. I told a few people, and I was given advice from one of my relatives. Don't say anything to anyone, because if people find out that there really is a living pterosaur over there, they're going to go over there and try to hunt it. And I thought, oh boy, I don't want that to happen. So I actually kept my mouth shut for a good year. And then I'm like, I gotta tell people. Like, I just gotta tell people about this because it was so impactful to me a year later. And I just ended up ignoring that advice. And I'm glad I did, because other people need to know that these creatures do exist, and they are amazing.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, a good example of that would be Sandra Mancy, who lived in Vermont for a long time. I think she's still there. But she's the one who had the famous photo of Champ. If anybody's not familiar with Champ, he's a lake monster from Lake Champlain. The lake there is extremely big. It can cover the world's population 3 times over. It's huge. And she has the only proof of Champ as far as a clear photograph. She did not come forward for years until finally somebody looked in her booklet of past memories, kind of like a scrapbook. They saw the photo and said, you really need to say something about this. This is amazing. And then when they finally came forward, it was on TV, it was aired many times over. They did forensics on the picture itself, and it came away with that it does have a heat source, that it was a living creature, not a log that some people said it was, that was just popping up in the water. So I totally understand, Jonathan, where you're coming from, because you're like, hey, if indeed what I saw was a pterodactyl, which I believe it is exactly what you saw, I think in a way there is a bit of conspiracy out there, and I won't dive into those things because I leave that for like Jeffrey Gonzalez, a Paranormal Society or Paranormal Central, who taps into those things. about maybe the government having some sort of foothold here. They know that we're in the minority of the people who see these things. Okay, this is just my opinion, all right? This isn't a fact, but I'm thinking this is what it could potentially lean towards. Anytime there's a sighting, they try to step in to eradicate, because the last thing they want is for more of this to get out. It will eventually, some things will continue to do that, but again, we're in the minority when it comes to these sightings, but more and more people are coming forward, and eventually it's going to be too much to overcome. But I still think it's a good theory on that part of whether or not they're having some sort of influence here. And so for me, if I saw what you saw, the first thing I would want to do is tell my wife as well. But I'd probably leave it at that. I'd probably go to Jonathan or Garth or Paul Nation and start saying, tell me more. Did I have a mistaken identity? And then I would probably sit on it. I probably would, because the last thing I'd want to see is for this creature to be hunted as well. And unfortunately, some people could potentially come in and shoot it, and then we never see it again. But at the same time, I think it's important to protect people too, so they know that there's something out there that could potentially be dangerous. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video with me and Jonathan as we have gone over some pretty amazing information regarding Ropens here in the United States of America. And people are seeing them throughout the country, and they're going to continue to. They're just going to continue to pour in. So be mindful of what you see in the sky. And if you see something that's out of the norm, contact me. I'm here ready to listen, and I'm ready to believe you. So as we say goodbye to Jonathan for the day, and we thank him for coming on the show and giving us his encounter, we're going to take this time to pray with him right now. Heavenly Father, I just want to say thank you for Jonathan and his testimony of coming forward and sharing what he has discovered with his own eyes. And I pray that he will be a blessing to others, and that there will be no ridicule in his life for coming forward and sharing his testimony, that people will be more receptive to the truth that he has to share. I ask that you bless him abundantly, Father, and we thank you for all that you do and all that you are and all of your creation that you have created. Thank you for all that you are, Lord. We praise your name. Amen.
Yeah, and I'm going to do what I can to get that video uploaded somehow to either YouTube or to Facebook again or something, so that I can get that to you. And hopefully that'll be some help, and maybe someone can find out what those footprints are, because I have no idea.
Yeah, it's almost unfortunate that, of course, nobody's ever going to think of this, to have a cast made. I think that there's a lot of Sasquatch hunters out there who are ready for that. But for a pterodactyl, I don't think so. that would put you in the minority for that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Jonathan, keep your eye on the sky and continue to seek the truth.
I will. You too.
God bless. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. God bless.
Bye-bye. That was Jonathan Archer, eyewitness testimony, a living pterosaur in Minnesota. If you have had an experience or an eyewitness account, I encourage you to come forward. Remember, with me, you will receive no ridicule, and there will be no scoffing. I'm ready to believe you. I know that's hard for a lot of people to do. The last thing anyone wants to be is laughed at. I can assure you, you will not receive that treatment from me. And love showing and love bringing to people, and I love fellowshipping with people about these stories. Now, I'm not into promoting the paranormal realm. That's not me. I tackle monsters. Ever since I was a kid, I enjoyed monsters. And I knew there was something not quite right in this world and needed to be explained. That's why I do what I do. But as my friend Mark Holmes would always say, don't quit your day job. Not yet. So stay tuned. I have another creature video coming. This one deals with a creature that is an agricultural menace that has been seen here in Oregon. But it has been many years since it has been spotted. It is very rare, and no, it is not a Sasquatch. So I'm going to leave you with this. Seek the truth. Keep your eyes on the sky. And God bless every one of you on the other side of this screen. I'll see you next time.